Hello, I'm Captain Gamer, and let's play Final Fantasy VII, the Command Materia Challenge. Cloud was just getting done telling us how losing to the Midgar actually doesn't result in a game over, where you see, if you recall, the Midgar ejects a character out of the fight. So, if the Midgar ejected, say, Tifa out of the fight, and Cloud and Aeris got a face full of beta, then they would get down to 0 HP, and Tifa would be just fine. She'd drag them out of the water or something, and you'd be bumped back to the world map. If you encounter the Midgar a second time, no such guarantee. I guess Square Enix thought if they're gonna throw an invincible boss at you, allegedly invincible boss at you, they wouldn't go all the way and make it a complete jerk move. So, the latest in our story, our search for Sephiroth and the Promised Land has led us to Fort Condor. And we have used their services, they have been very hospitable to us, and now it is time to make good on our commitment, which Tifa and Aeris beat us up to accept. Apparently, Shinra wants to take over this place. Exactly what's so special about this place anyway? Ah, a condor on top of a reactor. On motorcycles. What? Haha! So, exactly how do we fight out our battles? Let's talk to this guy. Thanks for accepting. Let me explain our strategy. The enemy will climb the mountain looking for the reactor. We will leave a trap for them and hire soldiers to protect the area. Well, that's all, but this village doesn't have any money. Even if we wanted to fight, our hands are tied because we're broke. If we hired one soldier, we would need 400 gil. So if we hired 20 soldiers, we must have 8,000 gil. Whoa. Basic math for effect. Nicely done, sir. So if you folks have the time, we would like you to use your own money to hire these soldiers, buy the trap, set it up, and command the troops. No pressure! At what point do you do anything? If you're pressed for time, we'd like you to help us with the money. Oh, here comes the sales pitch. If you can give us the money, we can then hire soldiers with the funds and block Shinra's attack. We know that what we're asking is selfish. Oh, now I'm gonna feel bad if I don't help them. We have sent our wives and children to another village. We are resigned to our fate. I wonder what village that is. I don't think any other village in the game refers to Fort Condor. I guess that's something I'll have to look for. Let's get back to square one. If the enemy penetrates our shed, you'll have to fight them immediately. That's some good restraint on me to not say whoa about penetrate, which sort of balances out. Anyway. Well, just because you lost once, it's not the end of the world. But if you lose repeatedly, it could be dangerous. Spoilers, no matter how many times you lose, nothing really bad happens. Now then, is there anything you wish to ask? No, I already know how to do this. I shall explain it to the people. Hey, this one climbing up here looks like they'd be just right. Please, any help is appreciated. Preparations ready? So if we say wait, we stall, okay, ready, we start the mini-game. Contribute gil, we give them money, and let them handle it, just means instant loss. Ha ha ha. We're better off just telling them to wait. Hear more, I think that's just the... Okay, ready. You have 10 enemies. There appear to be many beasts, so you may want to employ more attackers. Deploy more attackers, even! Ha ha ha. Okay, so what exactly do we do to defend Fort Condor? So, what is all this? This is like if Square Enix made a Mystic Quest version of Warcraft. It's the same basic idea, but it's so simple. Look, if you see the cursor, there's a red X over this finger thing here. That means I can't set any units. So yeah, first I set my units, and then I have the attack come. So, you can see, I can deploy here. Now, what units do we have? Fighters. Fighters are the basic units that aren't strong against anything or weak against anything. As you can see from the strong against, weak against at the bottom of the screen next to the name. Attackers are strong against beasts, weak against barbarians, I think that's what they're called. I can't be sure. I'll see what their names are. So these defenders, strong against barbarians, weak against wyverns. Shooters, they're long range, strong against wyverns, weak against beasts. Repairers actually repair these buildings. So yeah, there's your Engies. Workers, they set bombs. So yeah, that's the trap component. Stoners, these stoners you set in one place and you set where they are going to roll their rocks. Rolling rocks. And if anything goes into the path of this red laser sight while it's attacking, they take damage. And this is a catapult. It throws rocks, which do a lot of damage, but it only hits this little area of effect over here. And it doesn't do it very often. So, how exactly do we set up our units? This is how. One fighter here, one fighter here, one fighter here. Now really, I probably, for what the strategy I have setting up, I could probably just put one fighter here and be done with it. But right now, this, whatever is to come, I will need the additional firepower that these spiders provide. So, this is all I'm doing to set up. No catapults, no rolling rocks, none of that stuff. By the way, no matter what your button configuration is, the OK button is going to be circle and the cancel button is going to be X. So that's funny. Cancel, and we start the game. And if you'll notice, there's a speed counter down there to the bottom right, and if you press L and R to make things go slower or faster. When you're setting up your plan of attack, you keep it low speed, and when you're just waiting for units to move, then you set it all the way up. And look at how fast they go. Slow, fast. Red light. Green light! Okay, enough of that. So, it works just like any other real-time strategy game. You select a unit, and I select him to do an action, and I select what enemy to attack, and there you have it. Now here's an interesting thing. The further your units move up, the further the line of being able to deploy units is. So you see, I can't deploy any units over here. However, as you can see, I can now deploy units much further down than I could at the beginning, because the further my people push up, the further down I can deploy new units. So with that in mind, all I can do is just pop an attacker right here and have him attack the beast that he's so strong against. It's glorified spawn camping, really. But hey, we keep them all the way down here, and while that is all nice and protected. So this way, we don't really waste a whole lot of time. We just bring the fight straight to them. We don't really need to build up our resources if we can just pop whatever is effective and let them attack. Because, if you'll notice, there's a counter down here that counts how many enemies are on screen at the time, and as you can see, a wyvern has joined the brawl. So, we pop a shooter and have him attack it. Likewise, there's no room to summon. Another shooter over here. So yeah, we've got our bases really well covered. And we want this guy to retreat so that the wyvern doesn't attack him. He is weak to wyverns, I think. So move. And shooters, well, if you are strong against something, then you also take half damage from it. And if you're weak against something, you deal half damage to it. So that's why it is a good idea to have shooters take the brunt of the damage from wyverns, because wyverns can't do that much damage. If you play your cards right, then you can get out without losing a single unit. Because yes, you are spending your own gil, funding your army. You get half the gil back, but, you know, if you go too out of hand, that can really drain your funds. As you can see, the enemy counter has reached 0, and that just stops the game right there. Normally, the last enemy to appear on the screen is a boss. He's a big guy with a lot of attack power and HP. But if you reach 0 enemies before then, you don't even get to see him. The attack just ends like that. I guess the boss is just like, oh man, they're too good. I don't need this. Ooh, that was good. But Shinra's troops will be back. Be sure and scout the area well. You don't know when they'll attack again. We have 7 allies left, so here is 1400 gil. Thank you. Oh yeah, I found this just now in the battlefield. Maybe it'll come in handy for you guys. Received Magic Comb. So yeah, the one true benefit to fighting out these fights is that you get special items, like the Magic Comb. What is the Magic Comb? Magic Comb is a weapon for Red 13. It is a weapon for Nanaki. As you can see, now we don't have Nanaki in the party right now, but let's take a look. Cloud's Hard Edge has these slots. The Magic Comb has 3 unlinked slots, which you might think makes it an inferior weapon, but look beneath the slots, you'll see the word normal. Growth normal. What is growth? Growth is how much AP you earn after fights, and AP is the experience for Materia. So, if you gain enough AP, and if you'll notice by steel, there's a bunch of stars over there, one of them is filled in, that is the level. So steel has 3 levels, and you start at level 1, obviously, stating the obvious, and you get it to level 3. Level 2 is when you learn the Mug ability, and level 3 is when you master the Materia. It doesn't earn any more AP, but it clones itself. Isn't that interesting? So, if you had a Materia that's harder to get to, and enemy skill doesn't earn AP, or however that goes, and sense, there isn't really much to do with sense Materia, so when you get the master Materia, it just duplicates itself also. Okay, what was the point of that? Oh yes, so the Magic Comb has double growth as opposed to normal growth, so you earn 2 times the AP in battle. So that would be a lot more useful in a regular playthrough of Final Fantasy VII, where you have, you know, all Materia, restore Materia, and summon Materia. Summon Materia, I don't know if I explained it, and I don't think I need to explain it, but Summon Materia can only be used once, and for every level you gain after that, you can use the Summon Materia more times in a single fight. So yeah, that's why the Magic Comb is important. If you want to level up your Materia fast, that's how you do it. However, we don't necessarily need to level up our Materia unless we want to duplicate something rare. But now that our job here is done, for the moment, we can continue on our way. I think that guy who we met right here said that Sephiroth was headed toward Janun, which is that way. So, what enemies can we fight out here? I know that we encountered those lizard things, and the formulas. So, let me introduce you. That last battle just told me that those lizard things are called Narrow Sephiroths. So we know those are out here in the formula. However, let me introduce you to the Limit Forest. I call this the Limit Forest because this is the one location that you go to train your limit breaks at any point in the game. Unless you get too far. But pretty much by the time you have every character in the game, you can slap a hyper on them and Well, let's just take a look.